Just 1 second. I'm going to check something. Okay. Load. Alright. Back in business. Sorry about that. Alrighty then. Time for a post-meal break? They all trooped over to the rest area. Let's see. I'd safely finished eating, but my stomach was still growling. Would I be okay? Doing the dishes was an unpleasant job, but with everyone's cooperation, we got the ordeal over and done with. Hey, Take-pyeon! I took Tsugumi's sandwich over to her. Oh, thanks. Patted Coco's head. Before I tackled the cleanup, I had picked out some decent sandwiches and had Coco take them over. Whether the still recovering Tsugumi would actually eat them was another story. Hey Coco, is Tsugumi eating alright?
Yeah, she said she was really hungry. I think she ate 3.
Well, I guess she's gotten well enough to eat them.
She's getting better pretty fast, don't you think?
Yeah, that's Tsugumi. That night before, she had said she wanted to die. The fact that she was eating meant that at least her body was determined to live. If she would continue that tendency and get well, I thought there'd be no more problems. Wait, that was a contradiction. All the things that keep us alive, the things that drive us, are filthy. There is no such thing as a life of purity. She said something along those lines, but then, despite that, she demolished 3 whole sandwiches without even thinking about it? Well, then again, I was the one who told Coco to take the sandwiches down because it would be bad if she didn't eat something. So I was contradicting my earlier stance too, but something strange was going on. What's the deal? The world hypocrite came to mind. Then what on earth was she supposed to be? Tsugumi, what was she thinking? I couldn't help but feel resentment rising in my chest.
What's the matter, Take-pyeon? Your face got all scary for a moment.
It's nothing. I didn't want to show my sullen mood. I didn't even want to be thinking about her anymore. Waving with one hand, I tried my best to sweep my mood away.
Oh, good! I thought maybe those sandwiches had given you a tummy ache.
Why? Did you put something in there that would make me sick?
Well, Take-pyeon, do you really want to know? You won't be sorry, right?
No, stop. Don't tell me. I don't want to know. Just imagining the possibilities was making my stomach hurt. Gathering my wits, I went to the bench where you and the kid were sitting. Coco and Pipia trotted along behind me. Hey you, where did Sora go?
She went to look again if she could find some clues to help us escape. And from what she said, the sensors on the 3rd floor are working a little bit better.
Did you see Sora, you? I cut in front of them.
Huh? Oh yeah, for a minute before you came to the kiosk.
I see. Did Sora say anything else? Did she seem different somehow?
No, not really. Same as always.
Okay. Well that's good.
Kuronari, did you do something to her?
No, nothing.
You're acting pretty suspicious. Why did you say, well, that's good? Not that I'm the type to hound you with questions or anything. So what's the story, my dear Kuronari-san?
She laughed and pretended to hold the microphone to my face.
Can you tell me how you're feeling right now?
I don't care what happens. I'm not talking to you.
This is reporter Tanaka Yu reporting live.
She withdrew her invisible microphone. Hey, that reminds me, the kid muttered, glancing at me. Apparently Takeshi sneaked out of his room in the middle of the night.
Oh, relevant circumstantial evidence!
Next, the invisible microphone was pointed at the kid. I thought maybe you were sleepwalking, but you ran up the emergency stairs, so... I went to sleep right after that, but it's been bothering me.
What do you have to say for yourself, Kuronari?
If you don't want to talk about it, don't worry.
What? What are you talking about? Something fun?
Woof, woof, woof. Oh, sorry. Woof, woof. That's Pee-Pee's voice. Sorry. All of their eyes were fixed on me. Bathed in their attention, there was no way for me to escape the microphone. Alright, I'll confess. Alright, gotta pull up my handy-dandy guide. Beep-bop-beep-bop. It is either I went to see Tsugumi, or I was just meeting Sora, or I went to the bathroom. And I'm going to say I went to see Tsugumi. I went to see Tsugumi. Told the truth. Tsugumi? I was gonna take a walk when Sora came up and told me that Tsugumi had woken up. I didn't want her to start wandering around and hurt herself, so I rushed right over to the infirmary. Oh, is that it? Actually, I guess I did hear pretty much the same thing from Sora, how Tsugumi had just woken up. Well, you knew that all along? Sorry, I just thought I'd give you a hard time. Man, but you really should have called us. You're right, I wasn't thinking. Well, I don't know about you, kid, but you was dead to the world. I didn't figure it'd be any good to wake you guys up. Hey! No one seemed inclined to question me further, so that solved that. Everyone milled around the rest area. I felt the energy drain out of me. I wasn't tense, but I wasn't relaxed either. Maybe I was just tired. I sat quietly thinking. When I couldn't sleep, I had been pondering all sorts of things. About Tsugumi and Sora. I might have hurt Sora's feelings. She always smiled and she said she didn't mind, but what would I say when I saw her? Which is why, hearing Yu's voice, I returned to Earth with a jolt. So many Greek myths have been handed down to us. Here we go again. Okay. Yu was standing in the middle of the room, apparently giving a lecture. The kid and Coco and Pee-Pee were sitting on the benches, listening obediently. I ended up listening myself. You see that statue over there? It's rather a lovely piece. She turned around and pointed at the statue in the corner of the rest area. The beautiful statue and the sculptor who loved her. I'll tell you their story. She gave them a melodramatic cough. Okay, I don't know what that's all about. What's a melodramatic cough? Anyway. Then she turned to the group and began gesturing and talking. Once upon a time, in a place called Cyprus, there was a young sculptor. His name was Pygmalion. I hope I pronounced that right. I am sorry. I am bad at remembering pronunciations of Greek names. He's been called the King of Cyprus. But in these myths, they tend to call anyone a king or a god, so we won't go there for a bit. Okay. Anyway, there was an excellent sculptor named Pygmalion, and then, his statues were incredible. They were so vital, so full of life. They looked as though they might start moving at any moment. But Pygmalion couldn't seem to get interested in ladies. Sorry. Okay, sorry. Alright. The people around him wondered why a brilliant sculptor like him couldn't land a wife. But Pygmalion seemed to only care about making his statues. Then one day he finished the nude figure of a woman. It was a wonderful piece, absolutely charming, and even he himself thought it might be his ultimate masterpiece. But as he looked at her beautiful, almost living face, he realized that she was naked and became embarrassed. He brought clothes for her and dressed her, and when it got dark, he was so besotted with her that he brought her food to eat, talked to her, and even slept next to her. It was the first time he had ever experienced true love. Love for the statue he himself had created. He poured all of the love that he had into her. Okay, this is hard. He believed that one day she would speak to him. But in the meantime, he neglected his work, he forgot to eat and sleep, and Pygmalion began to waste away. People began to worry that he would die, so he prayed to the gods, and Pygmalion was agonizing as well. He was so sad to see her unable to speak, eat, or sleep. He thought that when he himself had become old and went to heaven, she would have to continue standing there just as he was just waiting to decay. To him, it was unthinkable. If he couldn't be bound to her, it would be better to throw himself off a cliff. Well, okay, we'll address it.
If only she was a real woman with blood running through her veins. It went on just like that, until his prayers reached Aphrodite, the goddess of love. Aphrodite came down to him and told him to kiss his beloved statue. Then he gently kissed her. Her skin flushed pink, her eyes opened, and she turned into a living woman. A woman as beautiful as the statue had been. So they married and even had children. He kept making even more beautiful sculptures for the temple around the world, and they lived happily ever after. Finally finished with her long story, Yu pinched her skirt and curtsied. Coco and the kid applauded her. Hey, that was pretty interesting. Bravo, bravo, bravissima!
As for me, alright, let me say, write happily ever after, watch silently, or voice disagreement. I'm going to voice disagreement. I raised my hand and declared, I object. Yes? What's happily ever after about that story? Doesn't make any sense to me. Why not? Pygmalion had just an obsession with his sculpture. He didn't work, he stayed inside talking to her, thinking, oh, if only my statue was real, beautiful woman. What a dark and depressing story, Pygmalion. I don't see anything happy about that at all. He just happened to have his selfish request granted by a goddess. The end. Listen, you don't get it at all. Yu shook her finger at me. That's not the point of the story, Kuronari. She threw back her shoulders and started talking again. The story of Pygmalion shows that if you hope and ask and persevere, your wish will come true. His longing was answered because he put his heart into the sculpture and then loved her, believing that she would speak to him one day. So that's it. Wow. Okay, this is a little different, but this guy named Rosenthal wrote something about the Pygmalion effect. Okay, here we go again. She was acting like a professor on a soapbox. It seemed like she was overdoing the whole thing. But her ridiculous expressions were so amusing that I got drawn in. It's not quite the same as the placebo effect, but both of them involve believing in something. So they both have to do with our chances of survival. Just because the sushi in the display case is made of plastic doesn't mean the sushi inside is cheap. Whoa! Wow! Her talk seemed to have been derailed by like a nasty train wreck. I had no idea what she meant. But the kid and Coco were a rapt audience. Alright, 11:10 a.m. Alright. Several minutes later. Sometime during Yu's long speech, my brain started working again. We had all headed up the emergency stairs to the second floor.
Shall we all go and see Tsugumi?
Yeah, I'd like to know how she's doing.
Yeah, me too. Let's go check up on her.
Coco's proposal came out of the blue, but everyone agreed and headed upstairs. I wonder how she's doing.
Well, in any case, she needs rest.
Well, after worrying about her... worrying about her won't make her better any faster.
Sora would let us know if anything had happened to her, right?
Well, I hate this thing. Is always watching over the infirmary's medical computer data. Since Lemit hasn't alerted us to anything, it means that Tsugumi is probably sleeping peacefully. Well, that's a relief.
Right, nothing to worry about, Arun.
What? About Arun?
Nothing to worry about, Arun.
Okay. I hate this child. Woof woof. Yeah. Say, Coco?
Yeah, what?
What language is about Arun?
Cocoese!
Huh?
Cocoese! Whoa, obstinate stubbornness! Geezer's going swimming in the winter. There's a Boutaroo too!
What the Okay. Even the dog is like, what? What? Coco was always in an upbeat mood. Okay, great, we're just not going to address it. Cool. 11:26 a.m. We reached the infirmary. We should have brought flowers. And where do you think we'll find flowers?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Kid is so stupid too. These children! Entering first, I mustered a cheerful voice. Hey, Tsugumi! You alive? I had to force them, but I dragged everyone along to see you. Pop! Ow! Listen, Kuranari, don't be mean like that. You don't have to push and poke me. Exchanging stupid banter, we approached the bed. I did it on purpose, as a joke. You know, joke around, cheer her up a little bit. Really? I don't know. Hey! The kid stopped suddenly. He was pointing at the bed in the back. What's the matter, kid? You discover a new species or something? Tsugumi's gone. What? Woohoo! Coco, goddammit. What? I ran to the bed in shock. Everyone followed right behind me. She's gone! She's really not here! The bed was completely empty. The covers were just the way they had been. The pillow was the same. But the IV tube and the heart monitor had been torn. Whoa. The heart monitor had been torn up and scattered around? Okay. Somebody had a bad time. What the? Why didn't Lemay pick up on this? Lemay was monitoring Tsugumi's data, right? What happened? I don't know. I have no idea. She averted her eyes from mine. Hey, look at that! She pointed to the corner of the room. Her finger was trembling a little. The cord was torn off the medical computer and the monitor had been smashed to pieces. There was an electrical short and there was a burning stench around the area. Who could have done this? That's what I'd like to know.
What's that?
Coco had found something. Under the computer console there was some bandages and a long, skinny case of some sort. A white, hard case.
Is this
Tsugumi's brace, right? You're right, it's Tsugumi's. Which means Tsugumi, she took off her own brace and smashed up the computer. She got out of bed, smashed the computer, and then left the room. My thoughts leaked right out of my mouth. It was hard to believe.
Really? But when I brought her the sandwiches, she still looked like she was in pain in bed. Do you really think that Tsugumi...
Well, what else could it be? Maybe someone ran off with her? Someone? Like who? Who's here besides us? It's crazy either way, Yu was shouting. How could Tsugumi even walk on that leg? It was a serious injury. It would take over 2 months to heal. In fact, her condition, she shouldn't be able to even get out of bed. And it's strange that Lemay didn't respond, even if the computer is broken. Even if someone had taken her out of here, the sensor in the ceiling would have picked it up. Saying that, Yu raised her eyes to the ceiling. What in the world?
Wait, then... What happened to Tsugumi?
Kogo barely opened her mouth. Maybe she was spirited away? Oh, please. Tsugumi disappeared. We were all in shock. Everyone kept talking, though. Spirited away? I don't believe that. I don't believe... All of the color had drained from Yu's face as she absorbed the enormity of what had happened. She was holding her chest, looking up at the ceiling in a cold sweat. Ugh! Calm down, Yu. Don't freak out on me. Take deep breaths. Oh! A little color came back to her face. But the situation was... But the question was what to do about the situation. What to do. Hey, I know. We'll ask Sora. Where is Sora? She ought to know what happened, right? Yu looked at me with a glimmer of hope. Yeah, you're right. Let's call her. We rushed over to the Lemay terminal in the corner of the room. Standing in front of the console, Yu began operating the panel. If Lemay didn't realize it yet, that may mean that Sora doesn't know yet either. We'll call her anyway. It's faster to ask her than go on a blind search. You're right! Before long, there was a change in the terminal. Sora's image floated up on the monitor. Yes? Sora, something terrible has happened. Tsugumi is missing. What? Are you sure? I thought something had happened to the monitor in the room, but... Why didn't you tell us? I'm terribly sorry. There's been terrible jamming and it delayed me. Jamming? What's that? Electromagnetic
Interference? How's the room? Is everyone there?
Yes, other than Tsugumi, we're all here.
Because actually, my eyes aren't working. So, I wasted time trying to confirm.
Don't worry, Sora, we're all right. Her eyes aren't working? What the hell? Can you come over right now?
Yes, of course, right away.
Sora disappeared from the monitor, and instantly I was standing in front of us.
Am I standing in the right place? Can you see me all right?
Sora looked worried. You're fine. You really can't see?
It's getting better, but there's still something wrong. I can tell approximately where you are standing, but not which way you are facing.
She was talking to a spot just next to me. Sora, Tsugumi, Tsugumi's not in the infirmary. Can you search the other rooms?
Let me try. I'll do a bioscan on the entire building.
She put her hands on the Limade terminal and started accessing right away.
Hey! Who are you guys talking to?
The kid asked us fearfully over by the bed. We left the infirmary. Sora was bewildered by the sudden sensor trouble and it was taking her a few minutes longer than usual to finish up the bioscan.
Sora wasn't able to see us, and sometimes we couldn't see her, so... Does that mean that the ceiling sensors from the bed over the elevator are all temporarily broken?
Yes, that's what's affecting Sora.
So she left through the emergency corridor.
Yeah, but Tsugumi was kind enough to leave candles burning for us. When we found the emergency flares by the elevator, I was completely shocked. She wanted to keep us away that badly?
Sorry to keep you waiting. I have the results from the bioscan.
After a delay, Sora appeared in the door of the infirmary. And where has Tsugumi hobbled off to? She couldn't have gone far. In any case, we would find her, and when we did, we would figure everything out.
An A has gone down to Dritterstock. Komachi-san is slowly moving past the isolated sector.
In case anyone is curious, the A is the name of the egg-shaped elevator that is used in the Lemu theme park. Oh, good, he explains it good. A, the neutral buoyancy elevator. If we can call it, A will come to us, right?
Yes!
Okay, I'll run over there.
What? Hold on, Kurinari! You can only enter and exit the sector using the A, so if you just wait a little bit...
We can't just leave her be. What if her injury gets worse? And besides, I want to hear a good explanation for why she ran off like this.
Hey, Kurinari! Kurinari-san!
I left them there and ran out. The buoyancy elevator was right nearby. I pushed down the button and called the elevator. The lamp lit up, letting me know that it was working normally. I sprang into the double doors, and when the doors shut quickly, it started going down. If she doesn't use the A, she can't get up here. Until I get there, she definitely can't leave the sector. Alright. Watch out, Tsugumi, because here I come! I cracked my knuckles. Tsugumi had pushed herself, despite her injury, and had gone off all alone. Did she really mean to kill herself? Was she actually trying? I wondered if I should just let her. But still, I wanted to give her a piece of my mind first. I hoped she would stay alive long enough so that for me to tell her all the things I wanted to say. The doors opened. The stale air of the isolated sector on the third floor flowed into my lungs. Next to the elevator I had ridden in, another elevator was still stopped. An elevator with a hole blasted into it. That was from an earlier episode. Couldn't even smell the stench of acetone anymore. That's right. I forgot she sprayed my face with acetone. I walked towards the end of the hallway, marshalling my wits. What's that? I realized that there was a room on the left side of the corridor that I hadn't seen during the power outage. Thinking to explore a little, I set my foot inside. Woo! It's a big whale! Okay. Alright, a huge whale was stretched out. It said Cosmic Whale on the entrance. Good gravy. I love it. Apparently that was the name of the attraction. I couldn't tell if it was from a quick glance. exactly what the attraction was. A whale floating in empty space. The whole scene was surreal. Was there an explanation written somewhere? Wait, I don't have time to waste like this. After making sure that Tsugumi wasn't there, I left through a different door. I quickly reached the generator room. Damn, I liked that whale room. That was a cool whale room. The door said craftwork. I pushed open the door and stepped inside. The facility was giving off a steady but low hum and seemed to be working just fine. Hold on, sorry, one sec. For better or worse in Lemu, we didn't have to worry about the electricity. Oopsies, I looked around, and there was no trace of Tsugumi. Past the generator room and the corridor was completely blocked off by a partition. It was impossible to go beyond it. The only door left was the room on the right. I decided to go in there. The room was full of pipes! There was no sign of the door on the door, but I supposed it would be called something like pressure regulation room or something. I assumed that the pipes have been connected to the boilers and turbines in the generator room. Come to think of it, Tsugumi had done the repairs in there. I remembered her bending down to use the tools and closing off a valve. Huh? She was there, leaning in just like the time before. She didn't have any tools. She wasn't closing off a valve. Instead, craning her neck, she seemed to be looking over at the other side of the pipes. Hey, Tsugumi, what are you doing here? I pretended to be calm. It wouldn't do to lose my temper right off the bat. I suppressed the urge to shout. She was injured after all. She stood up slowly and looked my way. Are you looking for something? No, not really. She stepped back as if she was keeping watch over me. I could tell that she was agitated. She hadn't expected to see me. Her gaze didn't fix on anything. Her eyes flitted to the pipes behind her. Her gaze, it bothered me. What's behind you? Nothing. There's nothing behind me. Really? I casually tried to angle around so that I could see the pipes behind her. Don't come near me. Don't get close. What? She changed positions. She didn't want me to go behind her. Oh. She had taken another step back and knocked something off. Clang, clang, plunk! Along with a small splash of water, several screws and nuts fell into the crevice between the ducts. I say nothing. She quietly looked around the room. Favoring her right leg, she slowly turned. With her back to me, she looked further back into the room, then took a relieved, if amazed, breath. What's going on? Then pushing me aside, she tried to head out of the room. Move. You're in the way. Hey, Tsugumi? Don't bother me. Dragging her right leg, she tried to leave. Wait! I put my hands on her shoulders, but she shook them right off. Don't touch me! She glared at me, without trying to hide her annoyance. I said you were in my way. Leave me alone. Why are you following me? She spat those words all at once, but I didn't let up. I fired a question right back at her. What are you doing here? Are you looking for something? Or are you finishing up some repairs? You won't answer stupid questions, is that it? What are you doing here yourself? I'm free to do whatever I want, where I want. She was trying to make a wall of words. Sure. I shot back, trying to make a crack in the wall that she... trying to make a crack in the wall that she had up. Okay. Alright. Metaphorical crack in the wall. Okay. I came here on my own. I left the others because I had heard that you would come here on your own. Why would you do that? Because my injured friend suddenly went missing, that's why. Of course I came looking for you. Friend? Her expression grew more and more severe. I didn't ask you to come, and there's no reason for you to be here. I'm not like the others. So don't treat me like one of your gang. Tsugumi, cut it out! I snapped. I clenched my fist, and then I shoved it in her face, but stopped just in front of her nose. Did you almost just punch a girl? Oh my god, Takeshi. She didn't even flinch. Ugh! Believe me, I don't want to be friends with someone like you, but we don't have a choice. We all want to get out of here. Don't you want to get out of here as soon as possible? As long as we're in the same boat, we're friends. In Japan, people with the same goal are called friends. Friends? Friends, 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 friends. There you go again, just saying that. What kind of tired, hypocritical crap makes... that kind of tired, hypocritical crap makes me sick. Tsugumi's voice stayed completely cool. There was no place for my raised fist to go. And one more thing. Weren't you listening to me yesterday? I don't want to escape, so I'm not your friend. I don't care if you're from Germany, America, or Japan. Got it? I am not your friend. So don't talk to me again. I lowered my hand. I couldn't say anything. Giving me a glance, she moved towards the door, dragging her foot. She was moving awkwardly, still dragging her left foot. Left foot? Left foot? Did I say left foot? Whoa, 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 wait a second! I yelled with all my might. What? I said don't talk to me. She turned around forcefully. Your foot! What? Your foot. Is it alright? The leg you hurt the other day, that was your right leg, wasn't it? Her face stiffened. Her eyes flicked away. She averted her gaze. She stood rock still. What was going on? Let me see. I grabbed the hem of her skirt, and without hesitating, I yanked it up. Smack. An immediate brutal slap. Tsugumi took off running. The sound of her footsteps grew faint, as did her shadow, disappearing in the hallway. What was left was me, stunned. She hammered my cheek. I might have had broken teeth. I might have had a nosebleed. She hit me so hard my brain rattled. I didn't feel any pain. Complex fracture of the right femur. Injuries requiring 40 stitches. How could she possibly run a day later? Welcome back, Kuranari-san! Sora greeted me as I stepped out of the elevator into his wider stock. Thanks. Kuranari-san, your face is swollen. Yeah, I know. Sora ready to compress for me back in the infirmary. I left the room holding it. It seems that Komachi-san will come back to this floor in a little while, but if we do find her, try not to get mad or yell at her. Huh? For a little while, I think it's best if we let her do as she wants. Well, why? I pressed the compress to my cheek. It started to hurt right about the time that I'd forgotten about it. Don't you think she might be quite nervous right now? She's thinking about things. She's pondering all sorts of things in her heart. Everyone's words will fall deaf on her deaf ears. Okay. She's not able yet to just listen, of course. Well, you're worried about her injuries, but for a little while, let's leave her alone. If she's in any serious danger, I will let you know right away. So just for a little while, please, Kuranari-san. Alright. I nodded to assent to Sora's earnest request. I went slowly down the stairs of Dritterstock. My footsteps echoed quietly. I don't think that this is an accident that she came to be here, Sora continued, speaking right next to me. Not an accident. I do not know the details. This is the first time for me to encounter a case like hers. I don't have any data for this. But it seems to me that she has her reasons. Reasons that are difficult to explain. Something that is hard for others to understand. Something that compelled her to act even if it made her injuries worse. That's what I feel. Earlier, Tanaka-san was saying the same thing. You? Yes. That we shouldn't probe. That until she wants to tell us, we shouldn't press her for information. I see. Maybe I'd gotten a little too close to her boundaries. Boundaries that she didn't want invaded. Whatever feelings and reasons she didn't want us to know about, what was Was that why I was warned, harassed, and pummeled? If I thought about it that way, it made more sense. Well, maybe so. Maybe I came down too hard. Alright, 6:24 p.m. How are we doing? Let's see. Several hours went by. In the end, I just hung around Leimu by myself and just killed some time. I didn't see Tsugumi during that time. I decided to have an early dinner. Hugh, Coco, and the kid had finished their meal and moved to the rest area where they were relaxing and letting their food digest. Okay then. I had almost finished tidying up the kiosk. I don't know why I'm laughing, but okay. I pulled out the object I had secretly hidden behind the warmer. Actually, there had been one sausage left at the back of the refrigerator. There were no hot dog buns, so I stuffed the sausage into a bread roll. I slapped on the ketchup and mustard and took a big bite. This is so good. My mouth filled with juicy flavor as I bit down. Meat, yum. Fried tuna sandwiches were good, but not for an every meal, every single day. I hid it in the back of the kiosk and devoured the sausage.
Oh, Take-pyeon, there you are!
Surprised by Coco's voice, I choked on a piece of sausage. Coco appeared in front of me.
Take-pyeon, are you alright?
Blinking and struggling, I finally managed to swallow the chunk of meat. I swallowed the rest of the sausage in one bite to remove the evidence. I struggled to control my breathing. Coco!
What?
Not a single word about what you just saw, okay?
Okay, sure, but... Take-pyeon, you didn't eat your sandwich from before. Oh, I see, you were saving to eat it later.
Yeah, that's it.
That was all? Okay, good. I was worried about you. I thought you'd lost your appetite.
No, I'm fine, I ate. Scratched my head. Sorry, Coco, I was selfishly eating a sausage all by myself. Please forgive me. Inside, I apologized silently to her.
Oh, that reminds me! Take-pyeon, I talked to Sora-san! And guess what? Sora-san said that she spoke to Tsugumi!
Oh, really? Surprised, I blinked. She spoke to Tsugumi?
Yeah, when she went back to the infirmary.
Oh, I guess she went back to the infirmary. Really? And when Tsugumi ran into Sora-san in the infirmary, she apologized for going all crazy and smashing up the stuff. She even cleaned up the mess. Apologized? Tsugumi?
Yep, that's what I heard.
I was surprised. No, I was really surprised. What else? Did you hear anything else?
Anything else? Well, Sora-san said that Tsugumi was asking questions and stuff.
Asking questions?
Yeah, she asked her a really silly question.
A strange question? What did she ask?
What was it? Oh yeah! She said, "What do you know about my past?" Or something like that.
And?
Sora-san said that she didn't know anything. I guess Tsugumi was satisfied.
Is that it?
Yep, that's it.
Oh.
Come to think of it, that is kind of a silly question.
Yeah, it was really weird. Coco, where's Tsugumi now? I said that without trying to restrain my sense of urgency. Oops.
I think she's still in the infirmary. She went to bed, at least that's what Sora-san said.
Bed? She went back to the infirmary and went to bed?
Yeah, I think.
Are you sure? Is that where she is now?
Probably.
Probably, huh? Alright then. I think I'll go and take a check on her. Take a check, okay. Probably let her know. What is it, Coco? Is there something on my face? For some reason, Coco was staring at my face. She laughed quietly.
You like Tsugumi, don't you?
Huh? You gotta be kidding! You gotta be kidding me! There's no way!
Really? I wonder. It seems to me like it's written all over your face.
Huh? Flustered, I rubbed at my face. Nothing came off on my hands. At least nobody had been writing on my face again. Coco, watching me, had a smile as bright as the sun. I left Coco and went to the second floor infirmary. I hope she's resting properly. Hey, Tsugumi, can I come in? I spoke to the intercom and opened the door. Alright, it is 7:01 p.m. The infirmary was quiet again. All the smashed equipment had been tidied up. Sure enough, Tsugumi was there. Oh, you really are in bed. I don't believe it. Perhaps sensing my presence, Tsugumi opened her eyes. What? Would you keep it down? Her voice was normal. Am I not supposed to be here or something? No, not at all. I was just surprised, that's all. Surprised? Yeah, surprised. You came back. Yeah, well, I had to come back from that sector. There was nowhere to go. Hey, that's not... never mind. Anyway, I'm glad you're back. Glad? Yeah, glad. Relieved? Oh, really? Tsugumi looked at me intently. As she spoke, she laid back down and slowly closed her eyes. Keep your voice down, okay? My head hurts a little. Noise makes it worse. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Hey, are you hungry? Do you want me to make you a sandwich? Yes, please. Okay, I'll go get you one. Wait right here. I'll be back soon, okay? So, don't move. I tried not to make any noise as I left. As soon as I got out of the infirmary, I sprinted to the third floor. The kiosk had been cleaned up, but I turned on the fryer and heated up the tuna. And I hurried, but I worked carefully. I heated up the bread and browned it slightly. Oh god, this makes me want a fish fillet so bad again. I spread the special sauce on, chose the best piece of lettuce, hurried wrapping the hot sandwich. I left the kiosk. Alright. I sprinted back to the infirmary. I had been away less than 10 minutes. She was probably sick of waiting. I punched the open door until the door opened again. Sorry it took so long, I called out as I softly as I approached the quiet bed. I took more trouble with this than usual. It's a masterpiece. Eat it before it gets cold. Huh? Maybe she was asleep. I approached the bed, but there was no answer. Hey, Tsugumi! Tsugumi, here's your food. A delicious sandwich. Get it while it's hot. I called softly, but there was no response. Tsugumi! I tried yelling. I said, here's your food! Are you gonna eat it? Say something! Grab. Pulled back the curtain on the blanket on the bed. Tsugumi wasn't there! Bed was still slightly warm. She's gone! I told her not to move! I let out a deep sigh. I held my head in my hands. I resisted the urge to throw the sandwich against the wall. Where on earth did that stupid girl run to? Without thinking about it, I stamped my foot. Crunch! I felt something under my shoe. Huh? I lifted my foot and looked down. Whatever I had stepped on, it had pulverized under my feet. The small pieces smelled faintly. I bent down to spread them out with my hand. Looks like nuts. Glancing under the bed, I found a rolled up sheet stuffed underneath. I pulled it out. I found a bag which had probably contained the nuts, an empty box, and they looked like souvenirs brought from the shop. Were these here when we searched the place? Had Tsugumi smuggled them in? Was she eating them in secret? No, that explanation didn't feel quite right. Ah, I thought the nuts were crushed because I had stepped on them, but there was also a large amount of powder under the bed. Someone had deliberately crushed the nuts. I pulled the box from under the bed and glanced inside. A section of the lid had been torn off. The box was filled with cotton, with a soft hollow in the center. It looked like a nest for some small animal. Maybe... I thought about it, and I remembered having seen a rat running out of the infirmary. So Tsugumi was keeping a rat in here? The evidence would seem to point to that. In that case, has she gone looking for her pet? But where exactly? Maybe I should ask Sora. I called Sora from the infirmary terminal, but she didn't appear. Huh? Is this broken? I looked at the map of Lemu on the monitor, but I could detect no signs of life. Was there anywhere nearby that could operate Lemu with a large terminal? Of course, the security office! If I went there, then I'd probably learn something. I left the infirmary and turned left down the corridor. And when I arrived at the security office, I opened the door and flew inside. There was somebody already there. Tsugumi was sitting in a chair in front of the console. She was engrossed in something and didn't notice me come in. She was doing something at the console. On the screen was a zoomed-in section of the map. A strange point of light was moving across the enlarged section of the map. The light indicated a sign of life. She hit the key. A portion of the screen changed, and the remote camera zoomed in on whatever was reacting. A living creature was visible on the monitor. Phew. Tsugumi breathed a sigh of relief. A rat! At the sound of my whisper, Tsugumi swung around. She blinked. That's a rat, isn't it? Gray rat was running along a pipe. The map showed the isolated sector on the 3rd floor. Is it that rat you're looking for? Of course not! Tsugumi was obviously flustered. I looked under the bed and saw the box. There's nuts everywhere. She looked away. You don't have to answer if you don't want to. Anyway, I wonder how that dirty rodent got here. Dirty rodent?! Tsugumi's voice was suddenly hysterical. I was a little taken aback. It's not a rat? Okay, I think this says... It's a Chungarian hamster! Okay, I think that's what that says. I'm just gonna call it a hamster, because I'm sorry, I can't. I think that's Chungarian. Maybe... I mean, a Hungarian hamster exists, right? I don't know. Anyway. I think... Really? Oh, so that's what it's called. A Jungarian, huh? Pretty knowledgeable, Tsugumi. Everyone knows what they're called. I'm sorry, I don't know what it's called. Her chest puffed out slightly. So you were looking for that rat? No! I told you it's not a rat! Oh, it's a dwarf hamster. Okay. Great. I know what those are. I'm gonna call it a dwarf hamster from now on. My bad. Okay. Oh, sorry. Not rat, but hamster. You were looking for the hamster? Tsugumi seemed to nod her head reluctantly. The movement was so small, I wasn't even sure if she had made it. Tsugumi looked at the monitor. He probably traveled through some pipe. Pipe? The pipes with electrical cables or power sockets. Oh, I see. Her finger traced the map. Nobody could walk to where the hamster was. The top right of the screen showed an area underwater. It seemed like there was no room still empty. It was even farther away than the isolated area on the 3rd floor. It wasn't very clear on the map, but there was one emergency corridor in the sector. I committed Lemu's map to memory. Jeez, I'll just have to... I grabbed the plastic bag from the trash can and headed for the exit. Where do you think you're going? Where do you think I'm going? I'm gonna go get him. Who? That funny-looking hamster. There's no way you'll make it. There's a section underwater between here and there. And no human can fit through that pipe. I ignored her and I left the security office. I began to walk towards the place I had in mind. Wait! Tsugumi caught up with me and grabbed my arm. What now? If I don't get going, Hammy is going to move to another place. How do you plan to get in there? How else? Swim? Huh? Tsugumi's hand relaxed. Still in her grip, I kept moving. Tsugumi came with me. Oh, wait! What? Are you out of your mind? I'm going through with this. That's the reason why I think you're stupid. If you open the floodgates, you'll be overwhelmed by seawater. The pressure is 6 atmospheres. You don't have to worry about that. Hammy is in... Okay, there's a new map to explain how this is possible. Alright. Hammy is in an area directly connected to the flooded emergency corridor. The water in that area is 1 atmosphere of pressure, so the flooded corridor should be about the same. Besides, the floodgates on either side of the corridor are firmly shut. The corridor is completely isolated from outside seawater. The entrance on the other side is open. If I use the flooded corridor beneath the room, I can get into the next area. Why don't you go back and check the map? But how far do you think it is to get how far do you think it is to get to the area? 51 meters. I made sure to check it before. Yeah, but 51 meters is a long way. It'll be alright. Actually, I swam down and back in a 25-meter pool once. I kicked off the far wall coming back, but still. I mimed swimming as I spoke. Tsugumi's expression hardened. You are crazy! Are you trying to kill yourself? Tsugumi breathed in sharply. I'll be alright! It's alright, I don't want to die, I promise I'll come back. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this for one little hamster? What else can I do? We're all in this together. Maybe you're not one of us, but any pet you have is one of us. In Japan, people with the same goal are called friends. You are an idiot. That doesn't bother me. I'd rather be a cheerful idiot than some warped genius. We took A down to the 3rd floor. From there, we walked along the corridor to the isolated sector. Anyway, you may as well eat this. The fried tuna sandwich was still in my hand and I shoved it at Tsugumi. Here, before it gets cold. Tsugumi's face showed no reaction as she silently accepted the sandwich. Tsugumi slowly unwrapped the sandwich, cautiously sniffed it. Munch. Tsugumi suddenly took a huge bite. She's got appetite, that girl. She ate it fast. The sandwich disappeared before my eyes. How was it? Good, huh? Tsugumi didn't reply, but balled up the sandwich wrapper and paper and threw it back at me. But seeing how happily she ate it, I didn't need words to know how she felt. I was pleased. Alright, 7:29 p.m. We arrived in the pipe room. We searched the floor and opened the hatch of the manhole that led to the emergency corridor. We peered inside. A tube about 70 centimeters in diameter stretched down below us. A simple ladder was fixed on the side of the tube. About 2 meters down, we could see the submerged emergency light shining. We could find no signs that the water was backflowing and peered through the hatch. That meant that the water pressure inside the corridor was balanced against the pressure around us. I wonder if there's something I can use to guide me back. Fortunately, there was a rope and a hook with it that looked like it was a lifeline for the maintenance crew, and I decided to hold onto it when I went in. Sorry, hiccup. Checking that the rope was long enough, I firmly tied to a pipe nearby. If I tied the hook when it came out, then it should be easy to return. Alright then! I did some light stretching exercises to warm up. Wait! I should go instead. Huh? Tsugumi stared me square in the face. Don't get me wrong. I just don't want you to watch... I don't want to watch you pull this hypocritical stunt, that's all. I don't want to see you kill yourself because you believe this hypocrisy. How can you say that? That is not a nice thing to say. I laughed at her as I loosened my limbs and body. It'll be fine. I'll go back to the... you go back to the security office. What? When I get through the other side, you can tell me where Hammy is. I won't be able to locate him without Limit, will I? So unless somebody who can operate the Limit stays behind, it won't work. But, okay then. It's settled. I finished warming up and adjusted the voice converter in my ear. Sora told me that the earphone was pressure resistant, but hadn't said anything about whether it was waterproof. See you later! I ruffled Tsugumi's hair and started to climb down the ladder. My toes reached the bottom of the ladder. I let go of the ladder and leaped into the emergency corridor. Woo! It's cold! It's like swimming in ice water. The water was so much colder than the water higher up. I greatly miscalculated. And it wasn't the only thing I'd miscalculated. The corridor was pitch black inside. I tried to use my PDA backlight. I could see that there was parallel walls on either side, and part of the corridor was straight. But that was all I could see. I knew nothing of what was beyond that. At that point, my PDA's batteries ran out. Oh crap, not using this for a while. There was nothing for it but to grope my way forward. How far had I swum? How much farther did I need to go? I had no way of guessing. I didn't even know if I was swimming in the right direction. I just kept swimming in the darkness. It was terrifying. As my breath got tighter, I could feel the fear spreading through my body. I might just die here. As afraid as I was able to consider dying quite calmly. I was caught in the illusion that I was sinking further and further down. The darkness penetrated to my very core. The shadow of death crept through my whole body, eroding my every cell. I can't last much longer. As my fear reached its peak, I glimpsed a spot of light. The exit! Was it 10 meters? Or 20 maybe? My vision was cloudy. I couldn't judge the distance. I was reaching my limit. No, I had probably already exceeded it. The light was shining beyond the darkness. My body was screaming as my cramping fingers stretched out to the light. A little further. Just a little further. The light was right. Thwop. My hand grabbed the ladder. I wasted no time in fixing the rope on the hook. I pulled myself forward. I scaled the ladder quickly as I could and burst out into the corridor. I breathed deeply in and out. I coughed and spat. I felt like I was going to cough the darkness right out of my lungs. But contrary to my expectations, what erupted out of my mouth was the semi-liquid remains of my hot dog. Gross! I was a little cold, but I shook my head clear and continued my search for Hammy. The floodgates on either side of the corridor were shut tight. There was only one other door. I went through. Hey, Hammy! That probably wasn't his name, but never mind. It's probably better than yelling, Jungarian! Takeshi, are you alright? I heard Tsugumi's voice come through the speaker somewhere in the room. I'm picking up your sound on the monitor. If you can hear me, answer. Alright, Tsugumi, I can hear you. What can you see? The room is pitch black. I can't see a thing. Either the lights are broken or there's not enough power. My trusty PDA is out of power. I should have brought some fireflies with me. Did you say something? Nothing. If you pick up Hammy's location, let me know. Okay. Go straight. About 3 meters. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Turn right. 40 degrees. 40 degrees? What kind of angle is that? Hey, you just turned left, not right. Are you sure? The other way? Are you sure you're okay? I was just facing the wrong direction. I'm fine. Look, I'm facing the right direction now. Oh. Go straight ahead about another 4 meters. There's a step there. Be careful. What? How can I be careful in the dark? Ah! What happened? Takeshi, are you alright? Hey, talk to me, Takeshi! Takeshi? I'm alright. I'm alive. Can you let me know how high the steps are going to be? I didn't realize it'd be smashing my knee against it. I'm sorry. Okay, go on. Is Hammy still here? He hasn't run away? He's still there. Okay, navigate me. Alright. On I went like that. Alright, I've got you! Successfully, I trapped the hamster in the plastic bag. I'm on my way back. Wait for me in the pipe room. Alright. I don't know how you're going to do... with this I don't know how you're going to get this hamster underwater, but okay. With the I guess the plastic bag is going to be some sort of, like, diver's helmet? I don't know. I went out into the light of the corridor and checked on the hamster. Okay, he was quiet, but seemed healthy. I blew more air into the bag. That's CO2, buddy! And tied the mouth of it shut tight. Tired as I was, could I get back the way I had come? I hesitated, but unless I went back, it was all pointless. If I followed the rope, I would be able to get there faster than I had come. I tied the bag to my waist, took a deep breath, and jumped into the water. Ugh! I climbed the pipe ladder and stuck my head out of the hatch. I had made it back safely to the area I'd started from. Honey, I'm home! Tsugumi was waiting on the other side of the hatch. Look what the cat dragged in! Me! Well, Here I am. I'm back. Welcome back. I closed the hatch and stood up. I opened the plastic bag in my waist and took out the hamster. And there she is! There's a little hamster! There's a picture of Tsugumi with the hamster. Ah! Tsugumi grabbed the hamster. Lovingly, she stroked its damp fur. Thank you! Tsugumi whispered her gratitude without looking at me. What's his real name? I looked at the hamster. Now, don't laugh. Okay, I won't. You promise? I promise. His name is Chami. Chami because he's charming. Oh, Tsugumi's actually dumb. Who knew? Very good. Okay. Chami. That's cute. What a good name. How cute. That's what I had thought. I did my best to stifle my laughter. She's blushing now. Hey, you promised not to laugh. I'm not laughing. I tried to keep a straight face, but the corners of my mouth started to twitch. Chami. Charming Chami. Well, Chami-chan, Chami-chan, it's din-din time. I couldn't just imagine Tsugumi baby talking to it. Chami-chan, Chami-chan. That's why I didn't want to tell you. Sullen Tsugumi was red-faced, but she held out a bath towel that she had behind her back. Oh, thanks. I took the towel and wiped myself down. Whew. I breathed deeply, feeling reborn as I glanced at Tsugumi's profile. She was playing with the hamster in her hand. Her cheeks were bright. She looked so happy. This is the first time I'd ever seen her smile like she meant it. Darkness spread out before my eyes. Without limit it spread. Nothingness. The void was endless, and I was in the middle of it. There was nothing else for me to look at. I searched for a light, but I couldn't see the movement of my body. So, sudden tone shift of just blackness and text. Anyway. There was nothing below my feet. Nothing held me up. I felt, and so I fell. I fell. Deeper and deeper I sank into the void. Farther and farther. No, that wasn't it. Rather, it seemed the darkness was coming towards me. It approached me at a terrifying speed, but there was no sound. Yet it was creeping closer and closer. And finally it penetrated me. There was no way for me to shake it off. It seeped completely into me. It was strange, but there was no feeling to it. The blackness invaded and settled inside me. It overtook me, never to part again. I was becoming the darkness. The darkness was becoming me. My body, becoming the darkness itself. The void was endless. It had no ceiling. Nothing existed to cover it. It was an abyss. Everything was buried in the pitch black. The dark of the night was crushing me. And that was how everyone died. I was dying. I was dead. Death. Alright, 3 a.m. When I woke, my shirt was covered with sweat. What an awful way to start the day. I pulled out my PDA and checked the time. It read 3:18 a.m. But all the drowsiness had left me. Attempting to sleep again would only be a waste of time. I thought I'd only have another nightmare. Nearby I could hear soft breathing. Coco and Pee-Pee were nestled together comfortably asleep. Trying not to wake them, I opened the conference room door and sneaked out. May 5th, Friday! Hey, it's like us. I should have played this like a few weeks ago and it would have been perfect. Okay. Outside the hallway seemed endless. For a moment I had the illusion that it went on forever. Wait a minute, it's May 5th, it's Cinco de Mayo! Yay! It's Cinco de Mayo in Lemu! Let's have some tacos! Alright. Even the game is telling me to stop being stupid. Great. Stop being stupid! Without hesitation, I stepped into the cold water filling the hallway. I realized how oddly accustomed I'd grown to that spectacle, that strange situation. That daily routine, being continually enclosed by walls. Walls that, in a matter of time, were doomed to come crashing down. Where will I be when it happens? I decided not to think too deeply about it. I had already decided not to think about things like that. Climbing the emergency stairway, I headed towards Widerstock. Reaching the infirmary, I pushed the button and opened the door. She's not here. The bed was empty. The spilled nuts were gone. I wondered whether Tsugumi had been one of those clean them up or if it was someone else. Regardless, no one was in the room. Reaching out to the limit terminal, I touched the screen. No reaction, the monitor lights were out. I walked towards the security office. I thought that maybe the terminal would be there online. Opening the door, I hesitated at the smell. As always, the room smelled like smoke. I tried the terminal. The screen read, "Periodic maintenance in progress." The message continued. Limit full system periodic maintenance program in operation. Until completion, portions of the limit functions are inaccessible. Estimated time to completion, 6 a.m. That seems important. While under maintenance, automatic control systems throughout the compound will partially be offline. However, facilities and attractions will operate normally. Note, since all the sensors and recording systems operations will be checked during maintenance, functions may be erratic. Therefore, it will not be possible to access data through these terminals. Warning, this maintenance program should not be aborted except in cases of emergency. If aborted, there is danger of making the limit system unstable. Therefore, please refrain from accessing limit until after maintenance completion. Thank you for your cooperation. Additional note. Okay, wow. Until the maintenance completes, I will be unavailable. Everyone should be asleep at this time anyway, right? I informed everyone about the operation at dinner time, but in case any of you forgot what I said, I am leaving this message. That is all. Good night. Akanagasaki Sora. Well, how about that? I suppose Sora forgot to tell me about it. Then again, maybe I just wasn't listening. I probably was busy eyeing that extra piece of sausage in the refrigerator, trying not to be seen by the others as I hid the sausage, and later cooked it up. I'd been gloating over it until being caught, and then certainly not expected to be throwing it up only a half hour later. Was I stupid or what? I was lucky that it wasn't worse. Oddly enough, I hadn't felt hungry since. Anyway, having no particular place to go, I found myself in front of the elevator. Alright! Do I push the button, or do I not push the button? Trying to know where I am. Let's not push the button. Okay. Absent-mindedly, I stared at the elevator call button. At that moment, the button was truly meaningless. Still, I thought about reaching out to push it again, but decided against it. Hi. Hearing a voice from behind me, I turned my head, and there was Tsugumi standing quietly. Hey, what are you up to? There's no point in waiting around. That elevator's not coming. I didn't have an answer to give. Takeshi, what's the matter? Are you deaf? I couldn't help but laugh. Come on, what's going on? What's so funny? Tsugumi seemed slightly disturbed. It's nothing. No special reason. It's just that, well, I thought your question was pointless. At first, Tsugumi started to frown, but then she laughed back at me. You started to catch on, haven't you? I suppose. But I was just going out for a little walk. What have you been doing? Ah, that's okay. You don't have to answer. In that case, don't ask. Jeez. Turning her eyes away, Tsugumi frowned slightly. Looking at the floor, she seemed lost in thought. After a moment, she lifted her eyes and spoke. Hey, Takeshi, do you know what quail is? Qual? I think it's qual, maybe. It's Qualle. It's probably German. That's right, qual. Alright, I'm gonna say... I know. Because I think it's a jellyfish or something. I don't know. I know! Yeah, I know what it is. It's the jellyfish gondola attraction, right? Yeah. So, what about it? Well, Qual is just behind this elevator room. Yeah, come to think of it, you're right. And we both fell silent. Tsugumi started to giggle and gave me a hard look. We both knew what we were going to do next. With Tsugumi in the lead, I headed for the Qual entrance. Say, do you know how to make this thing work? Go figure. Go figure? Come on, tell me. It's already turned on, dummy. Just get in and it'll go. That's it? Look, I tried it out already, so I'm pretty sure. Well, if you say so. Wait a second, you've already tried it? Yeah, well, I tested it. Tsugumi's face looked troubled as if she had been caught at something. You're saying you rode it alone? Well, not exactly alone. Uh-oh. Then who was with you? It's not who I was with. Well, you see, I was with Chami. You mean your hamster? Yeah. In other words, one adult and one critter. Yeah. You rode Qual with Chami. Yes, don't make me repeat myself. Well then, how was it? Fun? Chami fell asleep. I guess he was bored. But for me, who cares? It's a meaningless question. Tsugumi hadn't said much, which was a lot more than usual. In other words, you were lonely, huh? If I was there, I could have cheered you up. What do you mean, cheer me up? Well, you know, you've been through a lot. And I thought maybe the two of us together would... Yeah, right. But then suddenly Tsugumi's expression lost its tension. All of a sudden, she let out a laugh. Hey, what's going on with you? Did I say something stupid? No, not really. It's nothing important. It's just that I needed to laugh. And her expression hardened again. But after all, I thought, the slight smile still remained on her face. Let's go. Yeah. Together, we got inside the ride. Immediately after the hatch closed, the gondola began to move forward smoothly. It was just as Tsugumi had said. The jellyfish-shaped gondola picked up speed and headed towards the outskirts of Zwiderstock. The corrugated tube carrying the gondola wrapped its way around the perimeter of the floor. Floating comfortably inside the tube, the gondola skirted its way along. Excuse me. Sorry. Wow, look at this gondola. Sure is jellyfish-shaped. I've been wanting to talk with you. About what? Well, there's some things I need to say. Things to say. Things I need to let you know. And I figured no one could interrupt us here. It must be something really important. Something serious? Yeah, at least for me it is. It was strange that Tsugumi would have something she wanted to say just to me. Tsugumi fixed her eyes firmly on mine. Her eyes were serious, with no sign of mischief in them. Whatever the consequences, I had to listen. 12 years ago, in August of 2005, on a summer day, I was infected. I was infected with a virus. Yes, 2005, 12 years ago. I was only 12 at the time. A virus? Yeah. And are you still infected? Yeah. I am a carrier. Carrier? What? Wait a second. Come on, wait just a second here. You mean to tell me 12 years ago at age 12? That's what I'm saying. 12 years ago at age 12? That means your age now is... That's right, I'm 23. I'll be 24 in 2 months. You see, I was born 24 years ago in July of 1993. I scrutinized Tsugumi's face. There was no way she looked 23. But then again, I knew she wasn't lying. We had never even touched the subject on her age. But I had assumed her to be in high school at most. 23 years old? I muttered to myself. To think she was 3 years older than me. Takeshi, where are you? She suddenly changed the topic. What do you mean, where? I'm right here. Yeah, but where is here? You know here is here, right? I beat the palm of my hand against my chest. Have you ever cut your fingernails? What's up with you all of a sudden? Tsugumi leaned over urgently right in front of my face. In her eyes I could see something like a distant light. I could see just glimpses, the tip of her tongue, wet and smooth. Okay, creep. Just Answer, okay? Have you ever cut your nails? Of course I have. Well then, is the nail that's been cut away still you? What do you mean? I mean, are you there in the nail? No, I guess once it's gone from my body, it's not me anymore. How about hair? Same goes for hair. In that case, this hair here is you, right? But if I pull it out... Ah! I reflexively put a hand to my head. Tsugumi had yanked out a couple of strands. This isn't you. Tsugumi held her hair, waving it around. My hair, holding it around. Yeah, that's tough. It isn't me, but I guess you could call it an ex-me? Okay then, what if I ripped your arm off? What? Tsugumi grabbed my arm. Whoa! Hot and heavy. We got a nice new screen of Tsugumi going, I guess. And before I could react, I was drawn into her body. Although she wasn't abnormally strong, I found it impossible to resist her. It was natural, like a flowing movement inside the white gondola. Tsugumi's body was covering mine. I felt her breath. I felt her pulse. I felt the warmth of her body. A fragrant smell wafted from her neck. A musky smell. It made me slightly dizzy. Well, if I ripped off your arm? Gazing intensely at me, Tsugumi continued shooting me questions. Would you be there? In the arm? No, I suppose I wouldn't be there. Oh, she's got her hand on my throat. Okay then, what if I took off your leg? Or if I cut your torso away? Or if I took out your brain? Still gazing at me, she moved her hands and put them on my neck. I felt like I was being hunted. The illusion was intense. She looked straight at me. I couldn't shake myself away from her gaze. I peered deeply into her eyes. I felt like I was being sucked inside of her, those eyes full of a distant light. I wondered where the light originated from. Tell me, Takeshi, where are you? Where am I? Me, Kuronari Takeshi. Since the moment I was born, I had existed as one person, one continuous, linear, cohesive individual. There was no doubt about that fact. The me as a baby in the photo album, the me running around in elementary school, and finally the me sitting there. They were all the same organism called Kuronari Takeshi. So, where exactly did the entity called me exist? In the past, people thought that the soul existed in a person's heart. I think that's Descartes. I'm sorry. Not a learned person. Descartes believed the soul inhabited the pineal gland in the brain. The brain. I wondered briefly if I existed only in my memories. But if that were the truth, then I lost my memory like a kid. Wouldn't that mean I was no longer Kuronari Takeshi? Thoughts, senses, emotions, sensations, characters, value? All of those things were nothing but functions in the organ called my brain. For one thing, the me that ran around in elementary school was composed of different molecules than the me there. From a purely material point of view, my younger me was entirely different than my older me. Cells died and were replaced daily. Every cell that was replaced would also die. They said that the cells in the human body were completely replaced every 3 to 5 years. By comparison, a rock would be composed of the same molecules 5 years before or 5 years hence. But a human body was different. The cells of me 5 years ago were not the same cells of me then. Even so, the me of 5 years before and the me then were definitely the same. Then just what defined me? And where did that me exist? Tsugumi took her hand off my neck. I breathed easier. You see, your existence has no substance. All you are is a concept. A concept? You're just a packet of information, software. The information written on a CD has no physical body, right? The CD itself is just plastic, a hard mass of polycarbonate. But the mass has nothing to do with the information it holds. Information can't have a physical body. That's impossible. Information does not have a shape or substance.
The embodiment of information only takes place through its application. However, the embodied information itself has no actual body. The essence of information is the information itself. Takeshi, it's the same for you. There is no physical substance to your essence. Instead, the human called Kurenari Takeshi is no more than a concept, information, software. And that essence is realized only through your body, the hardware. That's it. Your body is just the hardware. It's just the device in which the entity of you is embodied. I see. Okay, I understand you perfectly. No, actually, I hardly understand you at all, okay, but if what you say is true, then what does that have to do with what you were talking about? 12 years ago, I was infected with a virus. Yeah, you said that. Because of that virus? The virus, it rewrote my genetic code. What? Your genetic code? Cells are reborn every day. They are reborn and then die. Normally, the human body is totally replaced with new cells within 5 years. When I was 12, the cells in my body were infected, and in that moment, they divided and replaced themselves. 5 years later, all my cells were replaced. In 5 years, every cell that made up my body had been genetically altered. And when the last of the cells had died, the last trace of my 12-year-old self disappeared. In that moment, the old me died. The old me died, but the new me became a body that never dies. A body that never dies? My immune system and my metabolic rate were remarkably improved. My telomeres began to regenerate themselves. That's right, I will never grow old and never die. My physical growth stopped in that moment in time. I'll never grow older than 17. Okay. Highly improved immune system had increased metabolic efficiency, telomeres that continued to rejuvenate. Well, if what she said is to be believed, Tsugumi's body would never die on its own. And as long as her body had the energy to continue, it would not die. As long as she continued to have the will to live, her body would be sustained forever. Semi-eternal life. But was such a thing even conceivable? The concept of never growing old, never dying, was it possible? Why did living creatures age? Essentially, it was to protect against exhaustion and deterioration of function. The life cycle needed aging so that it could have succession and renewal through subsequent generations. I couldn't help but laugh. That's a good story, but no way! But I guess it's a good joke, pretty solid. Yeah, I guess you're right. Tsugumi snickered at my words. Yup, it's just a little joke. I thought you might fall for it, but I guess not. What else do you expect, crazy talk like that? Well, Takeshi, I guess you're not so stupid after all. Oh, we see her in a new position. Tsugumi got up slowly. Her disheveled clothes showed just a peek of her legs and a glimpse of her sleek thighs. Her skin was satin skin. Her clean satin skin and a scar. What's the matter? Takeshi, what are you looking at? Your right thigh, at the scar. Do you want a closer look? Well, yeah, but no. Shall I show you? No, really. It's okay. There definitely was a scar there, but it looked like something that had healed years ago, leaving only the faint mark of stitches that had once closed the wound. Alright! 6:30 a.m. Cool. Afterwards, I went straight back to the conference room. Both my mind and body were exhausted. Even though little remained of the night, I slept soundly. When I awoke, I felt refreshed and fully recharged. Apparently, no one had noticed my disappearance during the night. Good morning, everybody! Good morning! Good morning, Sora-san! Morning! Hi there, Sora!
A little later than usual, Sora presented herself in the conference room. So how about it, Sora? How did the maintenance go?
Well, the system is in sound condition, although there would be no way to repair any mechanical damage if it were to occur. The scheduled maintenance programs checked out, and I assure you that the entire compound is functioning normally. Excuse me. Well, that's good to hear. After carefully assessing the situation, I have found a slight noise in my thought processor. Normal functions will not be compromised, so no modifications are necessary. Hey, Sora-san, what does that mean? Well, Coco-chan, that means that if you see, sometimes certain customers want to play pranks on me. They tell lies or try to confuse me, and because of that, my memories or programmed responses get a little out of alignment. It tends to cause issues in my thought and processing. Sometimes older data gets mixed in with new information, making it difficult to determine which is correct. And when this problem becomes severe, it is necessary to fiddle with the system and overwrite problematic data. However, at this time, there's nothing too drastic that has occurred, so please do not worry. Okay! Other than that, I have yet to complete a full check of the sensor data which was recorded throughout the compound while you were all sleeping. I doubt any new leakage has occurred, but I will report back to you once I've checked in with the sensor data. Thanks, Sora. We're counting on you. Yes, leave it to me. By the way, thanks to the maintenance program, the limit terminal's response has greatly improved. There was a slight problem concerning limit traffic, but it has been since resolved. Terminal communication functions were optimized to adjust Lamu's current status. Hey Sora, what do you mean by traffic? I'd like to know about what exactly was tweaked in the terminals. Alright everyone, why don't we go to breakfast? What in the... Was it me, or did she just totally ignore my question? Oh well, perhaps she couldn't hear me. Everyone relocated to the tuna sandwich shop. And as always, I cooked up breakfast for everyone. Looking at their faces as they ate, I suddenly felt relieved. The faces of you, Coco, and the kids seemed so happy. Sora just stood by, quietly watching them enjoy the meal. However, Tsugumi was nowhere to be seen. Alright, 8:44 a.m. Let me take a sip. After breakfast, we all had plenty of free time. But there was nothing in particular to do. Nothing that just had to be done. So without any reason, we all just ended up gathering in the rest area. As always, the vases were filled with blossoming flowers, marguerites, marigolds, and roses. Apparently, the flowers were watered periodically by mist and the sprinkler system, helping them maintain their freshness. I didn't see Sora anywhere, but then again, she did say that she hadn't finished checking the sensor data. She had probably gone to the control room. It seemed like she could concentrate on performing operations better there. You, who had been talking with Sora earlier, was strolling around at the top of the circular stage in the middle of the room. The kid, Coco, and Pee-Pee were playfully chasing each other throughout the water. I had a feeling that I'd seen it all before. After having a good stretch, I watched Coco and the others play. The three of them, 2 kids and an animal, circled the stone statue. They were playing a game of chase, not really caring who was it. And without seeming to get bored, they kept running around and around. On the other hand, I got restless watching them. Ugh, what a sight. It looked kind of fun, but I didn't feel quite like asking to join in. At any rate, Tsugumi had yet to make an appearance that morning. Just in case, I left a sandwich for her at the kiosk. I don't know if she'll actually eat it or not. What would I say to her if I had met her? Oh, we're having a flashback. She confided her secrets to me in the jellyfish gondola. Virus carrier. A body that never died. A body that never grew old. Her healed scar. It was all so hard to believe. Could such a mind-boggling story even be true? I was still unable to completely believe her. Alright, 9:19 a.m. I glanced up and noticed Coco and the others had stopped playing. Huh? What is she doing? With a worried look on his face, the kid was watching Coco intently. PP, too, had his eyes on her.
In the middle of the rest area stood 4 statues. Coco was deliberately attempting to scale one of the pedestals.
Here I go!
With a heave, she began to climb up the side. Huh? It was an odd sight. I ran to the kid as he stood frozen watching her.
Okay.
She stumbled as she mounted the pedestal. Coco ended up embracing the statue.
Coco, what the heck are you doing?
The kid asked her brazenly.
Yahoo! Well, all I did was stand a little higher and everything looks all different. Let's see, to be exact, 68 centimeters higher, don't you think?
Perched on the top of the pedestal, Coco said that while smiling triumphantly. Huh? Hey, Coco, is that why you climbed up there? My phone, whenever I say, hey, Coco, thinks it's saying, hey, Google. And it keeps asking me, where you at? I'm not talking to you, phone. Anyway.
What? Well, actually, no.
Coco answered with her head cocked.
This area right here looks like it's missing something.
Missing something? Which area?
The statue's back. I kind of thought its back looked lonely.
Coco stroked the statue's back sympathetically with her tiny hand.
And well, abracadabra! Screwdriver at ya!
What? Uttering a stream of nonsense, Coco suddenly produced a flathead screwdriver in her right hand.
×2!
And then another one appeared in her left hand. Where did she get those? But before I could ask anything, Coco was gripping the 2 screwdrivers, and then, into the back of the statue, she began to carve the stone using the tip of the screwdriver. Jesus. There's an image of her with 2 screwdrivers carving into the back of the statue.
Okay, here we go!
Cut, 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 carve, carve. Within moments, the back of the statue was covered with gashes. Huh? It was incomprehensible. I just couldn't understand it. First, she said the back looked lonely, and then she started gouging it. For a while, the kid and I just gazed at her with our jaws dropped. Hey, what are you doing? The kid yelled back as he came back to his senses.
I'm carving! Can't you see I'm carving? I'm etching some marks into the stone statue.
Oh, really? Etching some marks. I can tell by watching you, Coco. That's not what we mean. What for? Kid beat me to the question.
Well, it's because I was feeling lonesome. And anyway, I was feeling sad. I was feeling sad.
She muttered in a tiny voice. She worked with great dexterity, using the screwdriver in each hand. The tips of the screwdrivers dug into the stone, screeching and forming tiny grooves. Sad?
Well, no one's coming to rescue us, right? We've been abandoned. So what harm is there in wrecking the place a little?
The kid and I looked at each other. Coco looked back at her handiwork. They were there in the shape of people, really simple looking, like stick people, and at the end of each stick was a little round head. Who's that?
It's me, Coco! And look, this is Pee-Pee and Chami.
She knows about Chami. Okay. Looking more carefully, I could see the 2 unusual animal figures beside the human forms.
And then there's...
One of the shapes had a particularly large head. It was only half finished.
This is Tsugumi. For Tsugumi, it's important to make her look really cool.
Tra-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. Singing a cute little song, Coco continued to carve. She seemed entirely absorbed in what she was doing. Somehow, I could relate to her desire to throw herself into something. That's destroying private property. It's vandalism. Hey, relax, kid. Now's not the time to be so uptight. Coco's into her work, and you can't blame her. Right.
Here we go, next! Uh-oh!
Oh! Because of her unsteady position on the pedestal, Coco suddenly lost her balance. Let me get this nice little image. That looks like it was thrown together pretty quick. Look out! Without hesitation, the kid jumped forward, steadying her body. He grabbed her by the hips to prevent her from slipping down and carefully lowered her to sit on the pedestal.
Thank you!
Watch your step, okay?
Okay. Oh, I know. Why don't you join me next, kiddo?
You mean...
Come on, please. Let's just both try it. You can carve a picture of yourself and Nakyu here. And I was thinking of carving Takepyeon over here. Okay, here's one of my screwdrivers.
Well, okay, thanks. Energized by Coco's enthusiasm, the kid took the screwdriver and mounted the pedestal to join her. Be careful not to fall yourself, kid. I'll be alright. Don't slip, Coco. Why don't you let me hold you up?
Huh? I wonder if that's the...
She'll be alright. I was about to stretch my hands towards her, but the kid stopped me. Don't worry, I got her. The kid took hold of Coco's empty hand. While embracing the statue in a hug, Coco and the kid steadied each other. And using their free hands, they began carving the shapes. The statue stood there without complaint, pointing to the south. A while later... Oh, we can see the drawings. It's just a bunch of people. What was left in the stone was carved images of 6 people and 2 animals. It was evidence of our existence. Alright, it's noon 36 p.m. That afternoon, after a light lunch, I looked around, but I couldn't find you anywhere. Looking for you? She ate lunch and then went to the security office on Zweiderstock.
She said something about doing some research.
Research? I wonder what that could be. She didn't say exactly. If you want to know, why don't you go ask her yourself? Yeah, I guess you're right.
What about Sora-san? Where did she go?
She's still in the control room. I spoke to her through the terminal intercom, but she seemed really busy. As usual, Tsugumi was nowhere to be seen, but the tuna sandwich I had left at the kiosk was gone. Come to think of it, you, Sora, and Tsugumi hadn't said a word to me all morning. Something's up, I can tell. At any rate, I figured I'd go search for them. But I didn't know where to go. And my choices are the control room, where I bet Sora is, the infirmary, where Tsugumi is, and then the security office. And I bet you know where I'm gonna go. The infirmary. Turning down the corridor after climbing the emergency stairs, I came out in front of the infirmary. The door abruptly opened in my face and a person came flying out. They dodged right past me. In a flash, the figure was gone without even seeming to notice me. Who was that? I whipped around quickly trying to see who the person was. It was Tsugumi. Hey! I started to call out, but I hesitated. The events of the night before had popped into my mind. I could stop her, but then what? In the meantime, I could see that Tsugumi's back was fading farther away. Hey, wait up! Where are you going? Barely getting the words out, I dashed after her. I ran up the corridor, hurriedly climbed up the stairs. But the sound of her feet had faded down the end of the emergency corridor. I figured she had already rounded the corner and was out of sight. Tsugumi! I was out of breath. I had run about 30 meters, but damn it, Tsugumi, you sure are fast! I grumbled after her, although she was well at earshot. I didn't feel like I could catch up with her at all. Her speed was unnatural. She was still supposed to be recuperating, but still she still had a little, she's still a little slower than when she pulled me away from the flood at the aquarium. Oh my god. Her leg probably still hadn't fully recovered. At any rate, I didn't want her to overdo it. Ah, damn it! After that, I was out of breath. I continued after Tsugumi. The sound of her feet was only barely perceptible in the distance. I strained my ears to hear. It sounded like she had headed downstairs. I descended the stairs. I was unable to hear footsteps from below. It seemed that instead of going to the 3rd floor, she had gone down the corridor on the 2nd floor. I came out near the entrance to the jellyfish gondola. I thought she came this way, but Tsugumi was nowhere in sight. Damn, I guess I'll just have to give up. What was the point in playing chase with her anyway? But still, I was disappointed. Without further recourse, I gave up and walked back to the nearby security office. As usual, the room smelled faintly of smoke. Oh, Kurenari! The Without noticing me enter, you turned towards me from the console. Say, you haven't been smoking, have you? I only said it in jest, but you look slightly defended. No way! How could you ask? You know the rules, no smoking until you're legal. Whoa, that's what it is, okay. You can joke if you want, but I can't believe you'd say that. I mean, just look at me, my fresh silky skin. This is the soft skin of a lady. This is the kind of beauty that's impossible for a smoker like you to have. You spoke smugly, mocking me. Hey, I don't smoke. Oh, really? Anyway, let's stop all this stupid talk about smoking. I just wanted to ask you something. The kid said that you were doing some research. Huh? The kid said that? You gave me a slightly surprised look. Kurenari, what exactly did the kid say? I don't remember exactly, but he just mentioned that you were researching something, so I thought I'd ask you myself. Well, in that case, I guess I'd let you in on it as well. Turning back to the console, you began to type. You may not remember this, Kurenari, but I've been researching stuff about Leimu for quite a while now. She spoke with her eyes glued on the monitor. And there's that thing about my father. Yeah, that reminds me you mentioned him earlier. That must have been the first day that I came to this place, when you startled me suddenly by starting up the dolphin carousel. I had heard about him then. So, have you found something? Not yet. You shook her head slowly. Eyeing the monitor, she hit some keys and entered the code. If only I could find the password. Password? If I just had the password, I could access all of the data inside Limit. Normally, all the data concerning Limu's system has a security protection, and of course, the personal data of the development staff has it as well. So, I'm hunting for the key to unlock the protection and emergency override. Oh, so that's what you've been up to. Yeah. But I give up. You stopped trying. Taking her eyes off the console, she looked at me. Hey, by the way, if you disconnect Limu's security protection, what will happen to Sora? Sora? Well, since Sora is an AI program instead of the Limu system, wouldn't she be affected? Yes. Naturally, if the protection is removed, Sora will be totally exposed. Naked. Naked? Kurenari, did you just think of something kinky? Huh? When I said naked, I don't mean Sora's image will be nude. I wasn't thinking that at all. Yeah, sure, you seem pretty suspicious to me. Well, I don't really care. Sora wouldn't become nude, but all of her thoughts and memories and various data would be accessible. That's an invasion of her privacy. Well, not exactly, really. I'm not one to go around blabbing secrets, and to tell the truth, I'm not interested. So, don't worry, I have no intention of going through Sora's personal data. Okay? Okay. Okay then. After that, I fell silent. I was searching for something to say. You was looking down. So, if you discover something about your father, then what? When I asked, you furrowed her brow slightly. Yeah, I was just thinking about that. But you know what has to be done. I know what has to be done. I know all too well. But once I break the security code, I'll know everything I need to know. Anyway, I'm trying to access Limu's system core from this console. Whether it's possible to gain access or not, I can't say, but I know the data is there. I'm certain the data is there. Well, at least it's a start. You suddenly became more upbeat. Cracking the security protection is going to be a real pain. This stubborn code! So what exactly awaits hidden inside? It's a little too soon to go there. Until I can get inside, it's the same as not knowing a thing. You said this and gave a big shrug. Yeah. But I think it's loads better than knowing nothing at all. Yeah, maybe you're right. You gave me a smile. She then popped her neck and rotated her stiff shoulders. Now then, back to work. Alright, you. Good luck. There's still time. Okay. Turning her back to me, you began to peck at the keyboard. But still, you know, without stopping her hand, she muttered quietly, my mother used to tell me all about my father's habits.
So I know that there's clues to be found. Decoding something as inorganic as a computer program is possible because even programmers have habits. For a long time, Yu stared at the monitor. She didn't look away, so I couldn't read her expression anymore. But I could tell by her shaky voice, she was probably crying. Without saying a word, I slipped out of the security office. 7:01 p.m. Let's see. I feel like we're so close, but I could be very wrong. I'm just gonna keep continuing. It was time for dinner. I made enough sandwiches for everyone and passed them out. Everyone moved with them to the rest area. We gathered on the circular stage at the center of the room and began eating. At a wave Sora's hand, a gentle rain started pouring from the ceiling, sprinklers, and onto the flower beds. There was even a small rainbow. Smiling, Sora stared at the fresh flowers and sparkling rainbow. I wondered how long I could watch the little peaceful world that she had created. How long could I keep looking at her smiling face? Thinking about it made me feel really lonely. Then again, there were others with me too. One of them opening her mouth so wide that it didn't seem like it could open anymore. She looked really happy. Kurinari! She had flipped off the wrapping paper. I want another sandwich, please. Would you be so kind to make me another one and bring it here, pretty please? She called out to me in a voice that seemed just a little too sweet. It seemed that she had been crying earlier, but that might have just been my imagination. Alright, you're such a slave driver. What was that? Did you say something? Nothing at all, m'lady. Just as long as you realize who's in charge. Reluctantly, I trudged back into the kitchen. I can't believe that girl. It wasn't like that they were hard to make. We had plenty of provisions still. I was irritated, waiting for the cold oil to heat up again. I anxiously fidgeted as I waited. The wire basket stuck to the frying pan with a clang. I'll get this done as soon as I can. Let's see. It's Tsugumi! Excuse me. Excuse me. Hey. A customer had showed up without warning. I'd like to ask for another one if that's okay. Jeez! What, Takeshi? Did I catch you at a bad time? Tsugumi looked annoyed. Huh? Tsugumi? You don't want to make me one? No. It's just, don't worry about it. It's okay. I'd settled down. I'd allowed myself to get worked up. Trying to shake off the frustration, I replied. You want just one? Yeah, thanks. Oh, yeah, and one more thing, Tsugumi said as she turned around. What about you, Coco? I'm not sure. Coco peeked from behind Tsugumi. What do you want? Maybe I'll just eat a little something. Well, how about some bread? Okay, sounds good. Toki-pyon, I would like some bread, please. Okay, gotcha. Thanks. By the way, Takeshi, were you a little upset earlier? Are you feeling okay, or is it... No, it's not like that. It just takes a while for the oil to get warmed up, and so I was irritated, that's all. Oh, was that it? She flashed a smile. Okay, don't worry, just take your time. I'll be waiting. Tsugumi grabbed on Coco's hand and started walking away slowly. She was smiling so gently. She had surprised me when she started talking to me all of a sudden. The Tsugumi right then seemed like she would never talk about dying, even by accident. I wondered if she had resolved her feelings. If that was the case, then it seemed like talking to her had been the right thing to do. I had chased her constantly, been hit by her, been put down by her, but the Tsugumi before me was unmistakably one of us. And guess what? You want to know what? I had a dream last night. Tsugumi was listening to Coco intently. What kind of dream? I was riding a whale! Coco seemed to be truly enjoying herself. And Kiddo was riding on it with me. And the whale was like totally bouncing all over the place and just kept hopping and jumping. And in outer space, I was going to this place called Planet Squid, and they were all flying around. And then guess what? I met somebody from Planet Kui Kui.
Really? You met somebody from Planet Kui Kui, hey?
Yep. Kiddo and me, we both met him.
Is that so? That's great, Coco. Tsugumi listened to Coco's nonsense while a smile was on her face. I watched their interaction quietly. I tried to sense what they were feeling. 7:13 p.m. And...
Kurinari, what's taking you so long?
I went into the rest area and Yu was lounging about lazily.
What the hell are you all worked up about? I'm not worked up about anything. It's just that you're so slow and I was wondering what's taking Kurinari so long, that's all. And so, how'd it turn out, Chef?
You really don't know when to shut up, do you? Look, it's right there, so stop worrying. And when I showed you the package, she shrugged. Tsugumi and Coco had already finished theirs and they were following behind me. I headed over to the circle in the center of the room. Here, it's the Tanaka special, take it. I got up around the dais and threw the package directly at Yu.
What are you doing?
Splat. The package flew over Yu's knees and landed softly in the center of the stage. Hey, come on, wake up, will ya? I pretended to show surprise. Be careful, those are some gourmet goods, you know.
Well, you're the one who threw it all of a sudden.
Yu's cheeks puffed up. She picked up the package and dusted it off. Sorry, I was just joking. Lifted both hands in mock apology. I was worried that it would fall into the water there for a second.
Oh, stop it! You don't have to pick on me, you know.
Grumbling to herself, she undid the string around the wrapping.
Ah!
She looked at the contents and puffed up again.
Hey, this sandwich is burnt!
Not that badly. You should be able to still eat it.
I suppose.
Give me a break. Well, we were needling each other on like that for a while. And suddenly, someone came up and stood in front of you and me. No, maybe he had been there for a long time. The kid was staring at us both with a leaden gaze.
What's wrong, kid? You don't want it?
The kid held up an unopened fried tuna sandwich in his hand. You gotta eat to stay healthy, kid. It's probably cold by now. You want me to heat it up for you again? I put out my hand, but he pulled the sandwich close to himself and tried to get away. He looked at me with such a hard expression, and... What? The kid crushed the sandwich in his hand, using all of his strength. The wrapping paper burst and sauce flew away every which way. It got on his clothes as well, but he didn't seem to notice. He didn't stop there. He took the mangled package, threw it with all of his might against the water on the ground. What? What the hell are you doing? His shoulders trembling, the kid kept his face down. He was finally able to drag out some words. Sick. I'm sick of it! That's all I can take! The kid kicked the thin layer of water at his feet. Everyone looked at him at once. I can't stand it anymore! I don't want any more tuna fried sandwiches! I'm sick of them! I want to eat something else! He screamed. Everyone's breath got caught in their throats. Everyone's quiet. Even the dog! Even the dog is quiet! But nobody had anything to say in reply. I'm sick and tired. So what if we're still alive? There isn't any proof that anyone is going to save us. What are we doing here? Everything that we're doing here. What's the point? Is there any point to us being here? The kid raised, shaking a fist. We're not finding any direction to launch it. He lowered it again. Everyone's quiet again. The dog is crying. Everyone tried to keep their eyes from meeting. It seemed like they were afraid of what they might see. They tried desperately to avert their gazes. Nobody moved. People pressed their lips firmly together and dared not to speak. Stupid fool! What the hell are you talking about? Finally, I looked up, shouting. Don't ask for the impossible! Do you have any idea what you're asking? The only food we have to eat are those sandwiches and what's in the snack shop upstairs. You know that. And you tell me you're sick of it? You still have to eat it. It's the only way to survive. So you'd better be thankful for it. We're all putting up with this with the best that we can. And you're one of the gang, right? You should be a little bit more cooperative. We're all being patient. They're helping out. Even if you don't like it, they eat and they're surviving. If we don't, then we're finished. Wake up. We're all still going through this together. As long as we're alive, there's still hope. Boom! Suddenly, a low metallic sound reverberated through the complex. It was a dull, muffled sound. The floor shook slightly. Everyone staggered slightly and struggled to regain their balance, but nobody tried to do anything else. I know. I know that, Takeshi, I know. But still, even though I know that, what can I do? Ah! Just then, the kid knocked the sandwich out of Yu's hands. She hadn't even taken a bite out of her Tanaka special. It fell into the water with a splash and sank slowly. Bastard, what do you think you're doing? I went over and I grabbed the kid and I raised my hand. Alright. Either I hit him, or I don't hit him. So I'm gonna not hit him. As much as I'd love to. Don't hit the kid. You! Cowed, the kid froze. I pulled back my hand that I had raised. It felt all so stupid, and so terribly sad. The kid looked up at me, all hunched up and trembling. I was disappointed in myself for trying to hit somebody like him. My heart ached with sadness. I tried to let go of the kid's collar and he backed away slowly. Everyone watched us silently. Ah! Damn it! Damn it! Tears welled up in his eyes. Kid, look over at Tsugumi. She injured her leg terribly and almost drowned. She had surgery. If it was me, I probably would have died, but she pulled through it. I pointed at Tsugumi. Tsugumi stood silently. The kid timidly raised his eyes to look up at her, but he soon stared at the floor again. But, Takeshi, you can say that, but I'm not Tsugumi. We're not all the same. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm just not that strong. And I never will be. I can't go on living. I don't want to go on living. So then, I should just... I didn't want to make him say the rest. But I couldn't stop him. I knew how hard it would be for him to say. Even if I wasn't that strong, everyone waited for the kid's next words in silence. They were probably unthinkable. So, what do you want to do? Everyone's surprised because it's Tsugumi talking. What? What do you want to do, kid? Tsugumi took a step forward and stared at the kid. The eyes were unfeeling and quiet. Come on, you can tell me. I know what you want to do. Softly, she approached the kid one step at a time. Everyone was so caught off guard that they couldn't move, couldn't say a word. What? You can't say it? He tried to say something, but no words would come out of his mouth. He had also forgotten how to back away. Tsugumi went up to the kid and touched him. You don't want to live? Ugh. The kid tried to nod, but his head wouldn't bulge. So, you want to die then? Ugh. The kid wouldn't respond. Say something, please. I don't know what you mean. Tsugumi asked the kid, her tone neutral. So which is it? Do you want to die? Do you want to live? So you can't answer. Well then, don't ever say that again. Okay? The kid broke down in tears and fell to the submerged floor. I'm sorry! I'm so sorry! Yu suddenly spurred into action, ran over to the kid, and wrapped her arms around his shoulders. Sora looked down, covering her face with her hands. She was trembling. Coco and Pee-Pee were staring at everyone, speechless. Tsugumi! Not knowing what else to say, I just stood there. I looked at her face, but I couldn't read what she was thinking from her expression. Takeshi, come here for a second. Seeing that I was confused, Tsugumi ran over to me. Eyebrows raised, she glared at me strongly. What was she thinking? Ouch! What are you doing? That hurts! Stop whining and get over here. Come on, hurry up. Totally clueless, I followed her along behind her. She grabbed my ear and mercilessly tugged. Alright, it's 7:27 p.m. Let go of me, Tsugumi! What are you doing? Why are you doing this? Ouch! She wordlessly and doggedly moved forward. Okay. She kept a firm grip on me and kept pulling so that I couldn't get away. You'll rip my ear off! It's seriously going to come off! Ah! Officer! This is killing me! Please let go of me! Please! We kept climbing the stairs. I wouldn't let go no matter how hard... Yeah, she wouldn't let go no matter how hard I pleaded, so I finally shut up. And when we finally made it to the second floor, she let go of my ear. Ugh! Thank heavens! I mean, what are you doing? Are you crazy? Quit your bitching. Just when I thought you'd finally shut up. Tsugumi let out a big sigh. What's that face supposed to mean? Just what it looks like. I'm so disappointed in you. She furrowed her brow and looked at me. She pinched the bridge of her nose and shook her head. She looked completely fed up. Tsugumi turned and she started walking away from me. Hey, wait a second! Why? What's up with you? What did I do? I hurried over to her and insisted that she answer me. No. No, it's not like that. You don't understand anything. And throwing back her shoulders, she picked up her pace. What? I don't understand. I mean, things were getting out of hand back there. If you hadn't said anything, I don't know how it would have turned out. And I'm glad you did. I'm really sorry. And thanks. Hey, Tsugumi, wait! I kept yelling as I chased after her. You of all people know how serious the situation... You know how serious this situation is, right? So how come you're... No, that's not it. That's not it. That's not it. You're angry at me, right? Why are you mad? Please tell me. Tsugumi stopped at the entrance to Qual. Okay, I will. It's a stupid question, but I'll answer it for you anyway. Okay. All of a sudden, Tsugumi smiled at me. I flinched. Do you remember what you said earlier? Me? Let's see. I was fairly angry, so I really don't remember it all that well. And might not have been all there at the time. But, you know, I really don't think I said anything wrong to the kid. And I'm sure about that. Yeah. I guess it looks like you weren't wrong. That's why. That's why I'm mad. Tsugumi jumped into the jellyfish gondola. I got on soon after her and closed the door. The gondola zipped into the tube and out into the ocean. I get so frustrated. Bam! Tsugumi pounded the shell of the jellyfish with her fist. Her expression was one of annoyance again. The gondola swayed slightly as it moved forward. Is it really just enough to be alive? You say, you're one of us, so you should cooperate? And that's how you keep pushing him to agree with you and buy all into your fake ideals. I can't believe how irresponsible you can be. Who the hell do you think you are? You really got some nerve talking like that. So what else could I do? It's better than standing by around and watching him sink into despair. It's better to have a little hope than nothing at all, right? You're such a hypocrite. Well, you know what? You're selfish and self-righteous. You're always talking like you don't care about anyone. You go around hurting people on purpose, making them feel like crap. And now you're trying to make me look bad? I'm not doing it on purpose. There's just a lot more that I don't agree with. Liar. That's not the way you want things to happen in your heart, and you know that. Why do you have to lash out at everything? Why can't you just be yourself for once? You're wrong. You're the one who isn't being themselves. I'm always myself. You're so twisted. That's funny coming from you. This isn't what we're talking about anyway, so why are you angry? If I did something wrong, then I guess I deserve it. If there really is a good reason, then hey, I won't complain. So come on, tell me. I won't argue with you. Just tell me what it is. We get a special illustration. You really want to know? Tsugumi sat down in the back of the gondola. Her tone had almost returned to normal. Yeah, of course. She hesitated a bit, but soon came to sit next to me. Tsugumi looked straight ahead. She didn't try to look at me. Why? Because I want to know. Because I want to know what my friends are thinking. I put my hand on her shoulder. I was becoming more and more worried. Maybe she was still trying to be stubborn. Tsugumi didn't try to shake my hand off, but just sat there. Well, you had made me one of the gang, hadn't you? If you want to know, then here goes. I'll tell you, because in the end, I've become your friend. I see. Why do you have to say it like that? You're not still... Tsugumi thrust her hand into her pocket and took something out. Takeshi, you know what this is, right? She's holding the hamster now. It's Chami. Jungurian hamster. Who cares? What the heck? Why did you pull him out? My pocket. Well, I know that. That's not what I'm asking. Just don't shove him out and talk about him as a this. Hamsters are delicate living creatures, and you should be careful with him. Yeah, you're right. But what else can I do? He doesn't have anywhere else to go. Chami stood in Tsugumi's hands. He twitched his nose and looked up at both of our faces inquisitively. Tsugumi strokes Chami softly with the tip of her finger. Whoa, her image changed. Hey, Takeshi. Do you know what will happen if I go like this? Tsugumi grasped both of her hands tighter together. In between the cracks of her fingers, I could see Chami's soft, warm-looking gray fur. His body disappeared entirely in her hands. Do you know what will happen? Idiot, cut that out! Come on, answer me. Tsugumi started to squeeze harder. Chami, who had been at the tip of his nose more visible, turned his beady eyes towards Tsugumi. What are you talking about? It's totally obvious. What a stupid question. You want to talk about stupid questions? Here's one for you. She started squeezing more. The space between her fingers got smaller and smaller. Chami twisted his body and started to struggle. Cut it out, Tsugumi. If you go on like this, Chami's going to... The hamster looked at Tsugumi and me. At the end, I thought he might have even let out a small breath. Squish. The screen turned red. Awful. Tsugumi crushed her hands together with all of her might. They pressed together. Her hands were shaking with the effort. From the cracks of her fingers, red droplets started to fall. Well, Takeshi, what do you think happened to Chami? Tsugumi's voice was also shaking. Tell me. Tell me! No. You think I'm going to answer that? Open your hands. Tsugumi, open your hands! Please, just open them up, now! Her hands were shaking heavily as they opened. Chami, Tsugumi, what have you done? He was dead, and his fur was slightly wet. Chami looked like a dirty old dish rag. It was likely that all the bones in his body were broken. All the blood was probably squeezed from his body, but doubtlessly hadn't had any time to wonder. It had happened so fast. His life had been extinguished. So, Takeshi, do you know? What do you think is going to happen now? Tsugumi, cut it out! I shook Tsugumi's shoulders violently. I thought for sure that I would knock her down. I forced her to look at me, but Tsugumi was crying. Her lips trembled, but she bit down on them. Takeshi, why won't you answer me? Chami is dead. He won't ever move again. Huh? In her hand, Chami seemed to move faintly, as if he had woken up suddenly. His movements were stiff, barely visible, and extremely slow, but he was actually moving. His heart had started beating again. He had started thinking again, breathing again. He shook himself off slightly, fluttered his ears, twitched his nose, and he got up on shaking legs and tried to stand. However, there was still blood on her hands. So, Takeshi, what happened to Chami? Our gondola at Quail had passed the entrance of the ride twice, and we just started making its third pass. One pass really wasn't that long, although we had been on it for just over 10 minutes. In that brief time, he had returned to normal and was sitting up on her palm, staring at the two of us inquisitively. Tsugumi was petting Chami softly again with the tip of her finger. He's different than the kid. Different than you. You saw, didn't you? That was real. Chami has the virus. The first time I tried to pet him, he got spooked. He bit my finger, the blood got all over him. So now Chami is just like me now. No. No way. No way, I don't believe you. I couldn't believe her. On what she had just told me about the virus earlier, or what had happened right in front of me. See, this little guy's alive, Tsugumi murmured as she looked down. He's alive. He's breathing. His heart is beating. But it hurt, didn't it, the little guy? It was painful, wasn't it? I did something terrible. I'm sorry, Chami. I'm so sorry. Forgive me, I was wrong. But it's okay because you're alive, right? Started shaking Tsugumi's shoulders again. What the hell are you talking about? How can you just say something like that? You just put him through something unimaginable and now you say it's okay because you're alive? No! Tsugumi brushed my hands off. That's what you said! That's exactly what you said back there. It's enough to be alive. You're the one who said that. So how about it? You saw what happened, right? You saw what happened to Chami earlier, right? What I did to him, you saw it, Takeshi. And you can say it's enough to still be alive? Well, it isn't. It isn't, no matter what you say. I won't believe it. It isn't enough to just have life. You can't say that's living. So do you understand? Or don't you? Takeshi, tell me. How about you, Chami? Do you understand? Her face was pointing down. I couldn't see her expression, but I didn't have to. I knew what it was. Tsugumi was crying silently. Countless tears fell from her face, like raindrops falling one by one into the red-stained floor of Qual. I didn't know what to say. No words seemed adequate. Hey, do you know how many times I've died? She was trying to stay as calm as she could. I have no idea. I scarcely could move my lips as I replied. I don't remember anymore anyway. In the beginning, there were said to be only a few of us carriers, but out of all of them, I was special. August 2005. I was 12 at the time, and my family went to America because of my father's job. Excuse me. Sorry. I keep burping, I'm sorry. Anyway, a friend of mine then, Julia, she and I were the same age. We had to go to the hospital, and they said it was a terminal disease. She had leukemia and was transferred back and forth to different places, but nobody could help her. But I kept going to see her to keep her spirits up. Watching her smiling face, I couldn't believe that she didn't have long to live, and I thought there would be a miracle. I thought if I prayed enough, she'd get better. If I cared enough, her pain and suffering would be less. I believed that. Then one day, I got into an accident. An accident? Is that how you got the virus? No. Right after I left the hospital, I got hit by a semi-trailer. Broken bones throughout my body, torn muscles everywhere. I went into a coma. I even stopped breathing. It was hopeless. But for some reason, I didn't die. And a few months later, I woke up in an unfamiliar place. Oh, it's baby Tsugumi! Where am I? It's a hospital. Which one? Well, I don't really know either. You don't know? I don't know why, but I don't know. My name's Tsugumi Komachi. You? Huh? What is your name? Well, I don't know that either. Sucks, huh? Tsugumi woke up next to a boy with amnesia. Outside the window is an unfamiliar scenery. I was pretty sure it was somewhere in America, but in order to find out where I was, it would take another 8 years. 8 years? I was there the whole time. I was in that hospital. Who are you? I'm a physician who will be attending to you. Physician? Oh, you mean you're a doctor? Yes, I'm going to find a cure for your sickness and make you all better. Cure me? I got in an accident and got hurt. No, it's a little different than that. Different? You have a new disease, one that we've never seen before. What kind of disease? So that was... Yes. I don't know how I got it or when, but by the time I woke up, no, probably before I got in the accident, I was already in the process of becoming immortal. Alright, well, I'd like to take a little bit of your blood. Why? Well, it's for research, just to find a cure for you, of course. Research? Your illness is very rare. Rare? There's a few people in the hospital, a few people in the world who have it, and all those people, you're special. Special? Your genetic code is being rewritten. Truly fascinating. You're the talk of our whole medical center. I don't understand what you're talking about. Hey, don't worry about it. We're going to find you a way to make you feel better. I promise. How are you going to get some blood? Well, princess, Hey, don't worry about it yourself. Just give me your arm and we'll be done before you know it. It won't hurt. Tsugumi came to take blood samples again and again. Oh, sorry. They came to take blood samples again and again, sorry. I didn't think much about it at the time. Why would they do that? The doctors kept telling me, it's so we can help find a cure for you, so we can help you, and people like you. Hey, you there next to me. What? You're sick too, aren't you? Me? Well, The same sickness as me? No, I mean probably not. You mean you aren't sure? Yeah, I'm fine, you know. I can, you can? I can see the future. This is what he told me. You're going to have many tragedies in your life, but I don't want you to be sad. The first one in 5 years, then 3 years later, then another one in 3 years. But you're going to live through all of them. That's pretty much what he told me. It didn't take long for me to understand what he was saying, even at my young age. Aw, it's baby Tsugumi! Tsugumi, take a look. There's a cat and a mouse over there. Oh yeah, they're so cute. I wonder why they're in a place like this. Yeah, those cages are so small. It looks painful. You want me to let them out? I wonder if it'll be alright. It should be. Come on, let's do it. Hey, wait. Okay, everybody run! Run while you can! Crash. Hey, what do you think you two are doing? Oh no, the experiment! Everyone be careful, what do you do? Don't let them bite you! Watch out, they're contagious! They really were mad at us. You opened up those cages so fast you surprised me. They caught all of the animals again. Yeah, right back where they were before, in those cramped, small cages. They're trapped again. Why did they have to be locked up that way? Why? I wonder. Why? Tsugumi says, back in real time, I slowly started to realize why. I began to understand bit by bit that I wasn't being kept at a hospital, but a research facility. No one came to see me. None of the patients left either, and there were hardly ever any new patients. And the whole time, I never knew why I was there. Huh? They're all gone. You didn't let them out again, did you? No. Oh, I wonder where they went then. I don't know. But they shouldn't have been kept in such a cramped space anyway. Yeah, maybe the researchers thought the same thing and let them go? No idea. It's no good. We still haven't been able to discover the reason or mechanism behind it. And I can't believe it happened right in front of me, but I still can't believe it. The only explanation I can come up with is genetic transfer, so it goes against everything we know about science. They withstood up to 4 splicings. I think maybe they could take 8. Let's keep testing. I guess this is like the perspective from the scientists. It's not very clear, this flashback, who's talking at the time, so... No, if we continue, there's no mistaking it. They're still alive. They might even still react at 16. But they're not... These aren't living creatures anymore. Is that what you want me to say? Perhaps that way of thinking might have been correct according to our old understanding, but we still have no idea of the possibilities that this entails. That's not right. It's crazy. The mice are still here. They're so cute. Wait, something strange. 1, 2, 3. Huh? There's more of them? Or less? Did they put the cats back into their cages? The cover is locked. I can't get it off. Huh, what?
Hey kid, where did that kid go? Answer me. Get out of here. It's time for you to leave. That's what it was like for 8 years, day in and day out. I think we're back in present day. Every single day, the researcher called for me, telling me, I'm your friend. But the truth is that he wasn't. I was being forced to do all these tests and experiments, and they just used me like some tool. I stopped being able to feel pain or to suffer. And then when I went back to bed, all I could do was cry. One day, the kid next to me didn't even come back. Takeshi, do you know why? Yeah. I mean, no, I don't know, but... So, I don't have to explain it to you. Yeah. If it's too painful for you, you don't have to say anything more. Tsugumi was stroking Chami with a trembling finger. I put my hand lightly on Tsugumi's shoulder. To suddenly get hit by a virulent disease, and to become someone who would never age. Spend 8 years trapped in a research facility? I couldn't imagine how it must have been to go through that. I hate it. And I hate myself for talking about it. It's funny, isn't it? Whenever I'm with you, I find myself talking about the stupidest things. It's okay, you don't have to talk. I'm so sorry. It was totally irresponsible what I said back there. It was careless of me to talk about being alive just like it was a given. I don't want your pity. It's too late. It isn't like that. It's not like that. Tsugumi, I was wrong, okay? You were wrong? She screamed suddenly. Don't tell me that! You don't just take back what you say, not just that easily. I want irresponsible. You want irresponsible? That's irresponsible. I didn't know what to tell her. You're just like them. You don't understand anything. You throw around words like friend without really meaning it. You don't understand anything about how I'm feeling. You don't understand anything about what the kid's feeling. She was making me feel like it had been a mistake to say I was wrong. No, that wasn't it either. The truth was, there was no such thing as right and wrong. People who are alive should live as long as they can. You said that, didn't you? I'll survive. I'll probably die as many times more and I'll still be alive. Chami here too. But Takeshi, can you really say that you're alive right now? Are you really there in front of me now? What's wrong? You said you'd accept everything I have to say, right? You said that, right, Takeshi? She bit her lip. The words were shaking. She looked bitterly disappointed. It was frustrating. That when she tried to live, she ended up dying. And when she tried to die, she ended up living. It's a process that repeated itself over and over and over without end. It wasn't right or wrong, but it was her reality, and it was something that she had no choice but to accept. But I still wasn't able to accept it. So stupid. I'm stupid. But you know what? You're way stupider than me. The gondola swayed. We had arrived at the end of the ride. I had no idea how many times we passed by Qual. The door opened suddenly. She got up quickly and opened the door. Tsugumi! I stuck out my hand to grab her, but she swatted it away immediately. Don't touch me! Don't touch me. The door closed from the outside. The jellyfish I was riding on started moving again. Stupid, I muttered to myself. Stupid idiot, I said to myself. I said it to her. I said it to no one and nothing in particular. To everything. Outside the window was the ocean. The ocean closed off from the light. When it passed under the shadow of the installation, the gondola became dark. And inside of the darkness, all alone in the darkness, I bit down as hard as my lip as I cried. Okay. So that... I think I'll stop now. It was pretty long. Okay, well, we got pretty far. I thought we were very close to possibly the ending, but no. We still have a lot more to go. Oh my god. Alright, oh shit. Was it really? I didn't even realize. Okay, well. Long episode. Oops. Okay,
Bye, guys. Goodbye.